can start. Greetings, one and all. Hey, Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It's a wonderful Tuesday morning. A little hiccup with the camera this morning. I actually don't necessarily know what the hell I did wrong, but it seems to be working now, so that's good. We've got a very busy morning, and it's just it's ironic that so many new things launched yesterday, and already the feedback loop is flooding in. We've got a couple things here that I want to go ahead and get eyes on. Kara is pushing through. She's got her wireframes for the Fresh Market project to take a look at. And then Rebecca's back. She's landed a freelance opportunity, and she's working through a WordPress build. And we're going to take a look at her progress. I know she's got a sitemap, she's got some wireframes, and we're going to take a look at both of those things and try to get her pushed forward this morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. And I'm going to take off over here to. I'm going to start with Kara. Kara's got her wireframe exercise right here, and this is always the time where I do a lot of back sampling to other parts, other exercises that you've performed in the program to make sure that we're maintaining some continuity with our direction. What I do like seeing here is that it appears that you are beginning to think through the steps that are going to be necessary to perform a particular action. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the wireframes that you have to start with. So you have the landing page, not signed up. You have the content from your, you have the content pulled in from your priority guides, and I think it's very smart that you've pretty much gone through and used components on all of these. I see, and go to the master component here. And I think that is why these are so clean. It gives you a good starting point. And, like the footer is very nice. I can kind of get a sense of, you're going to have quotes here. Fresh Market, it's more than a grocery store. Feature split left, how it works, so you're kind of walking people through what it is. This is really where going back and sorting out your sketches to here would be helpful. But I'm interested in the try a sample, because I'm guessing that here there's got to be a trigger here that gets me to try a sample. So I'm going to, it says sign up, explore plans, learn more. So try a sample's all the way down here. The first thing you have to do is you have to have a way to easily get there. The other question I have is should you, is this a big piece of the pie to get people to try the service? If it is, I might even like switch it out here. I might put sign up, put try a sample, move these in, just to get us to this screen. I'm guessing that this is going to be like some big image, kind of giving us teasing us, if you will, of all the goodness that happens to us if we try the sample. The form below is, it's kind of interesting, because if I was to look at this, I'm just going to kind of zoom in here. I want to give myself, first of all, there's no controls here. Like there's no other links or anything up here. So my big worry with this one is we might be burying the form. It might be something where we begin collecting and possibly like moving this up to to begin the form collection, and you like have get your sample, and basically it lines up. Maybe the type lines up to the left, and you have this form begin up top. I don't necessarily think that you have to finish it on the same page, but I also wonder if from a perspective of good form design, I know straight down works pretty well. If you've ever read any of the Luke W. posts on form design, um, you know, having people bounce around is always less than ideal. Going straight down is more preferred. I do wonder, like I'm seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm guessing no Sunday delivery. I'm wondering why Friday and Saturday are not abbreviated, but like Monday is. So there's some interesting choices going on there. Excuse me, you'll meet vegetarian. Here's your address, and then I can get the sample. Um, I definitely, here's the thing. The form is kind of floating off on its own, but I don't like making major adjustments before I put something out there to the public for testing. Provided that they can fill out the form, that's like the first cut. They have to be able to use it. So rather than hemming and hawing over the form design here, I really I want to go test the function. So it does what it says on the tin. I do worry that it's going to be like if you put this test out to somebody, you'd say, hey, can you sign up for a sample? They're probably going to like have to. It's going to take them a while. They're going to be like, yeah. Maybe explore the plans. Do I learn more? It's gonna. I worry it's gonna take them a while because trying a sample doesn't. I don't think about what other customers have said when I think about trying a sample. I think read more reviews. Like there's an interesting angle on that, but it feels buried right now. But as far as like getting a new customer to come in and try a sample, the piping's there, and that's good. But this is one that I think you may end up coming back for. You may end up coming back and adjusting it after testing. New customer sign up first order. So sign up, we've seen that. So that's kind of up here. So email password, set up account. Okay, and then you are going to. I think we've got an interesting disconnect here because you've got your name here, but I don't necessarily, I understand where you've gotten your email address, but I don't see where you've gotten your name. So that feels like a missing piece here in the sign up aspect. So probably got to add that delivery address, billing address. This is something where I think you might be able to actually billing address, delivery address, billing address, and then you've got the same as the delivery address. I think you might actually be able to do those side by side. But I do like the cleanliness of it. Explore plans. So create your plan, number of servings, plan total. This might be a bit deep. When you're trying to get people into it, I think you just want to like get them there. You've already got them clicking through. Now they're wanting to fill things out, and this you may be hiding it a bit. So, but from a function perspective, like, I'm going through. I'm setting up I'm setting up the account, and then I'm exploring the plans, and then I'm going to. Yeah, the question here is, do I have the language that tells me, like, if I selected 3 meals, servings per meal, frequency per week, it seems like I need to. This is like a selection, and it shows me what my selections could be, but I don't necessarily know if I'm supposed to. Am I supposed to select something on here and hit enter? It says edit, but what are the instructions? So it feels like this last page might be missing some instructions. It feels like the link here, because your name shows up here, you might be missing from the sign up. So that's a couple of things to look out for there. Browsing the site, new customer browsing the site. This is going to be an interesting. This is an interesting question because, think about what you're going to say in that test. You're going to say something to the effect of, "Yeah, so, okay, can you browse the site?" And of course, they're going to be able to browse the site. They can look around. They can click sign up, and they'll get to the sign up page, and they can click how it works. They can explore plans. My question is, this is browse menus not signed up. Do I have a way to browse? I guess this is browse menu. So what's funny is this feels like a button that's associated with these things, and these things aren't buttons. So I might suggest switching this around, because you want to make this feel like something that you click. Like there needs to be like some sort of change state. And I know this is a wireframe, but this button says I'm a button for these things, rather than I can click on this to go to this page. Again, the only reason I knew that it was browse menus is I saw browse menu. So, and it's not browsing site. It would be as so. Can you find a way to look at our menu? And you don't want to. And this is where you're very careful in the phrasing of your questions. If you said, "Can you figure out how to browse our menu?" You're kind of painting a target on this, because it literally says browse our menu. You want to change the language up just a bit in the user test to say, okay, hey, can you find our menu, and can you find our menu for January 7th? And they're going to go, okay, so, and the key here is they need to be able to say, oh, menu, I think it's this one. And the question is, do they then do they attempt to click on this, or do they click on that? And that's the usability question here with the way that it's structured. As we move over, this is the menu, so I can see current, I can see upcoming, I know when. That works pretty well, to be honest with you. And now I'm in Explore Plans. I'm not sure how I got there from. I don't see the prompt to explore the plans from here. So that feels like a disconnect. Like there's got to be some way, and maybe it's like some bit of text that says, "Here's our meals for January 7th. You can get started right now. Explore our plans, or get started right now. Try a sample." Like there's got to be some sort of language up here that like gets you there for this to be here. And then you've got sign in, welcome back. This all works. It's email, password, login. Like that works fine. So as we come down, existing order, existing customer, view, edit, orders, and account. So I'm going to guess that I log in. So then there's a welcome back, login, and and then I can go to my account, and that's going to take me to account. And on the account, I can go down to, I'm going to guess plan. I'm going to hit edit the plan, and landing page logged in. Yeah, I get how to I get how to get to the plan. I don't necessarily know how to see the orders. Oh, well, there's orders up here. Okay, so this is orders. Sorry. This is probably a little subtle, to be honest with you. I mean, I just jumped past it. Orders. I think you want some sort of language up here that says current orders, and I'm guessing that these are surrounded by the darker line, so that's indicating that they are a current order. So that's an interesting usability question. I can see adding current orders to the top of that to make it more deliberate or direct. But I would consider making a tweak there. So on one hand, I really think your wireframes are really nicely done. They're very clean. On the other hand, there's little nuances that I think that could be layered in, particularly here with the orders, here with the sign up, with making sure we capture the name, the exploring plans. I could give or take this intro. The bigger thing is, I think you need instructions here on ordering meals to tell them, hey, go select 3 or 6 or whatever it is that they need to do. Right now, it's not very clear. I can see what's there. I don't necessarily know how they do the order. And finally, and this is big, confirmation. There needs to be something, like after I order the meals, there needs to be a page here afterward that says, hey, here's your upcoming order. Thank you. You can edit your orders on the order page. And then if they want to edit their orders, they can click orders, and it takes them down to this page, right? Because this is orders. Overall, though, I think that shy of a few turns of phrase here and there, you've got what we're looking for in terms of test. Now, obviously, the next thing that needs to be done is we need to come through in prototyping. After you make those few adjustments, we need to come back through prototyping and adjust the and get these linked together so that you can actually test them. But as you said in your user journal or your program journal, there was this gap between the sketches and the wireframes, and it is in the attempt to make these testable flows happen that you discover what those gaps are. It's very easy to scribble down on a page and say, okay, here's kind of how that's going to go. And while we're here, I do want to jump back in. I just want to pay homage here to the sketches. They shouldn't be ignored. The sketches are very important to see kind of how closely did we hit the mark when we were going through the initial sketches. And I'm just going to check over here. Looks like Fonzo's in, James is in. Great job, James, pushing through. Fonzo, we're super excited to have you back, man. So here we are on the initial sketches, and
we've got a nav, we've got a hero, how it works, about testimonials, footer, sign up, pretty straightforward. I think this is probably where the omission of the name came from, is when you had your sign up page, it was like email, password, done. Set up account. Yeah, delivery billing address. I do still believe that side by side approach that you had in your sketches, that's probably the way to go. Yeah, so it looks like you ended up more over here. Explore plans. So it's similar. Try sample. Similar. Orders. So you had a toggle, and that the toggle's there. Browse menu, the toggle's there. Yeah. So pretty much it feels like, so there's account info, edits down the side. I think overall this feels right. It feels like you're staying true to what got you to here, but it's in the, now it's almost like a microcopy thing. It's like there's a little bit of copy that's missing in these pages, like the order menu. Like, what are the instructions for what am I supposed to do here? Those little things. And keep in mind, we focused a lot of our attention in writing over here on like landing pages and on checkouts and things. We didn't really focus a lot of our attention on like the ordering of meals, because that's going to be a lot of meals. But there's interaction that happens there, and interaction requires instructions and communication, and that's the glue that really holds our designs together. So I think overall, again, very close. You've got a couple things that you're missing. The big thing is like some sort of confirmation after you make those changes. Like I need to know that they've been received, or I need to know what I selected, and then some subtle instruction to get the user moving forward. Okay, so we're gonna hop over to Rebecca's CrossFit project, and there's a couple of things going on here that I think is important to note. And one is she has first of all, this is a WordPress build. So for those of you that are following along, she is working through a WordPress project where she's basically pulling a template off. She's got to write a lot of content, get it into WordPress, and then begin fleshing out the body of the product. This is legitimate UX work. It's a project that she'll be able to take and put into her portfolio. And I got to be honest with you, there are so many projects that I've seen students do over the years where it's like, I'm going to do a CrossFit gym, and Rebecca's getting paid to do the project everybody else does for free. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about things like this, because there are projects out there that feel a lot like student projects that they're paying gigs. There's out there, people are looking for help. All you have to do is go onto the job boards, and they're out there. So she has 5 major areas coming off the homepage: pricing, sign up, booking, about, educate, and then there's a keyword component as well. There's the logo that's provided. She's not having to come up with the logo. And here she is beginning to put this thing together. And I just kind of want to see, okay, so you're using just a traditional template. I'm guessing these are sections, Rebecca, that are playing off of the homepage. One thing that I think you're going to find is when you're using an image like this, this is going to feel like a lot of type. Um, so keep that in mind. You may need to come back and lighten this up. Um, but that's just something I want you to keep an eye out for, because ultimately you're going to be reversing this type out of an image in the background, and my big worry is that this is just going to be too much type. This is typically what happens when you begin writing. You always have too much to start with. Very rarely will you ever have too little to start with, and you need to expand it. Most of the time we write, and then we've got to edit back. So this is not an uncommon problem. You also have a lot going on here up top. But I don't really see, like, are they open for an hour on Saturday? That feels weird. Friday it's 6 hours, and then like Sunday through Thursday is like a really long. Although, sorry, now I get it. I got it. They're open for. I totally understand now. It's a religious thing. So this is for a CrossFit gym in Israel. I have to be cognizant of these things. So the big thing that I would really encourage you to do while you're going through and wireframing is set up a grid for yourself. Like on all these things, like if this is the home page and the classes are, I just want to come over and look at this. Are the classes their own page? It could be book a class. Let's take a look. We have classes. Give us a call. Download AR box. Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4. You were never alone. It feels like this is all... Okay, that's pricing. That's contact. Contact page, I think... I'm pretty certain, like, your contact page is probably going to be pre-formatted in this theme. She's pulling over a WordPress theme and kind of adjusting it. Pricing, that makes sense. You're probably gonna, I know you're just wireframing this up, but you're probably gonna come up with that number a bit stronger so that it stands out just a tad more. That's typically the thing that most people are coming into the site to see, is like, how much is the thing? Don't bury how much the thing is. People get mad. But a grid, I think getting this on the grid, also I'd be very careful not to go all caps on a lot of type like this. And then let's see here, FAQs. Yeah, it looks like FAQs, you've just copied that over. So I really wouldn't do FAQs like that. And the big question I've got is, if it's a lot of FAQs, I would look at doing some sort of accordion presentation where you see the question and then you twist it out and it shows the whole thing. If it's not a lot of FAQs, I would just like show all the text all the time and just make it a slightly longer presentation. But that approach is dependent entirely on how many you have. Overall, though, I think you're right now. It really feels like you're trying to make sure you've got all the content. A few things that obviously could be missing from this is I don't see anything for sign up at the moment. Pricing FAQ, that I see. About educate. So I see classes, and that feels like we're getting down into the classes area. But it very much. I know that literally yesterday, folks, she started writing this. So there's definitely a lot to bring in. But grid to control, because that's going to give you a sense of how much you really need to write. Anything that's going to go over an image like this, it's probably going to need to be larger. It's probably going to also need to be shorter. So keep that in mind, and then really, for you, it's about getting in here, and I just want to kind of go over to. First of all, she's using this CrossFit font, which I kind of like, to be honest with you. I don't like the horsiness between, like, there's some space between the O and the S and the I and the T. It works really well here in the, like, a really fat, heavy font. I can't use the word fat. Yeah, like, it's a heavy font because it's CrossFit. It's heavy. Um, but it's not a bad font. It's got a lot of nice weights to work with. So I like that aspect of it. I am trying to. Oh, there it is. So this is the blog, and I'm wondering if there's, like, have you got anything in here yet? Doesn't appear that you do. So you're still importing content. So there's a bit of work to do here yet. So that said, I think that today is getting this content, getting it ported in, and beginning to work with that, beginning to work with the WordPress interface to get this thing, like, gelled together. All right, so that's it. A lot of great. Let's see here, sketches. Yeah, that's Kara's. A lot of great work this morning. I really do think that there's a lot of great stuff going on. Kara, it's really just about adding that feedback piece, but also just some turns of language to make the prototype flow a little more smoothly. What do I do when I get to this page? And then for Rebecca, it's really about making sure that you're writing with the space that you have in mind, and then this, like, let's get it into WordPress, and let's begin working on it, because I know you have a quick turnaround on this one, and the quicker you get that content in, the quicker you also have something to show the client. So really, your job right now is really all about content ingestion. So with that, my name is Chris Courtney. This has been Feedback Loop for Tuesday, January 7th. And keep in mind, monthly mentorship is now launched. You can go hop over to newpragmatic.com and check that out. newpragmatic.com/mentorship, and you'll be able to sign up for and take part in this and have weekly meetings and all the great things that go along with that. So without further ado, I'm Chris Courtney. Thanks for joining me, and I will chat with all of you again tomorrow. Take care.